plays, but the rest of Global are still somewhat lagging behind.
What do you make of that, Kilios?
I mean, I widely do agree. We saw just some... It's hard to say whether or not they're fantastic reads from Zeta's side or just poor decision-making from the side of Global, but, you know, with that ebb and flow from Zeta, like, one of the rounds that we saw was they slowed things way down after playing aggressively, and then Polvi goes on an aggressive push out of B long, ends up getting caught, and that's going to be the operator down, as well as your star duelist player taken out of the fight very early. So, a couple of these moments here where they're deciding to go aggressive, take some space, but they have no information as far as player placement on the side of Zeta is concerned. That's something that they need to be accountable for. So they need to make sure that they know that they're pushing into somewhere a little bit safer. And if they don't know that it's safer, they need to be a little bit faster on those reactions.
Now the second map is going to be Icebox, and this is Zeta Division's pick, which is curious because it seems it's been a very long time since Zeta's played on Icebox.
It has been. And granted, Icebox out of the rotation does account for a large portion of this, but we haven't seen them play this map since the grand final versus Northeption, where Northeption bested Zeta Division to then go on to Masters Copenhagen in 2022. That was all the way back in June of that year. So we have not seen this team in a very long time playing this map. It has not necessarily been one that they tend to play on historically at all. So the fact that they are willing to go onto this map after the recent changes should allude to them having cooked something up.
Yeah.
Who's going to be cooking harder?
My guess with this one is because of the changes on Icebox, and you kind of see this a lot with a couple of teams before, the only play that you could do on mid before the changes was the rush underneath Orange and then just kind of see where that takes you. But because there's a window now coming into Kitchen, there's a lot, there's the changes on the Orange boxes where there's only one avenue, not the two anymore on the split. There's a lot more I think that you can try to do there, and I think that's where Zeta is hoping that they can outpace Global here. That seems like what Global was doing on Bind in some of the rounds that they were successful on was getting those quick contacts on the smaller corridors. And since Icebox, even though it's a two-sided map, it's still pretty open with, again, these new changes. Something that, again, Zeta could use, but again, this is just me guessing what could happen.
This map actually falls into Zeta's older play style really well now thinking about it, because this is one of those maps where a lot of times you do see, you know, that poking and prodding and then settling on which site you want to go to. So for Zeta, who love to do that, they absolutely could just poke and prod around green, maybe even inch up towards yellow. Oh, I'm getting racy here with that one. Maybe that's a bit too much for them going that deep into a site. But you know, you can kind of just make an appearance over on this side of the map and then opt to go to the other one if you don't like what you see or what you don't see on that side. So I'm curious if that's going to be the case. We did see the fan sign there saying Rush B. That isn't exactly their MO, but as we take a look at it, it's going to be the Harbor coming through.
Ooh, I like this. Harbor, I think, is so underrated. I think I've said this way back, maybe in VCT Philippines, that he does the job of both Viper and the Sage because of the Cove. It gives you a little bit of that safety, even though there are the changes that happen on the B side, even before this current change. You still have to have some form of safety when you plant that spike, and if you don't have a Gecko, you need something to keep that planter safe, and the Cove is one of those abilities that just does that.
Still sticking in with the KO here for Global. It seems like they're really going to be relying on this one, so I'm curious to see if Russ is going to be able to pilot into more success here on Icebox.
All right, let's go into the Arctic Icebox. We're going to over Casters Quack and William. Who's it gonna be?
Thank you very much, Chubby Ninja, Asteriana, Kilios. I have no idea what it's going to be. It does feel a little bit chilly, though, because Zeta is looking cold today. But yeah, I am wondering about that KO.
Yeah, GE seems to really want to focus on the double initiators. I know we're just 2 maps in, but I get it. It does seem to suit what they want to do, right? Get the info, then go for the call, then have these set plays. That's a nice idea, but if everyone else is still going for double controllers on some of these maps, and especially a map like Icebox, curious how this attack's going to be. Because at the end of the day, you're going to need to get those frags.
And on the other hand, for Zeta, too, I mean, this composition is just what DRX did before in the past. So going in on the defense now, already committing the high tide. It blocks off. It kind of pushes Global Esports into A, where, well, Laz is kind of hiding and waiting. The turret is up and ready. Russ is kind of tagged up by the decay of the toxic screen. But, wow, we're just setting up for retakes. We're trying to use the lineup, but it doesn't quite connect.
Yeah, Very fast flank, though. Now, they were spotted. GE knows they have to push out, and Povey's going to open things up.
Okay, Povey's always good for some shots. Gets the first one, now wraps back around screens. He wants to hold this position, because if he does, then it holds ZETA off for just another second. Laz, though, up around the rafters side. He goes back down and picks off Russ. And here comes Depp from the top now. Sugar Zero landing some shots. A bit of a distraction. It allows for the rest of ZETA to corral and push up into the site. Blaze King able to get one, but not for long until Laz takes him out. ZETA with the pistol.
I mean, that hop over from Depp is one thing, but something else you're noticing here on that retake. So ZETA commits to the retake early on. Obviously, the back out of A site. Once the flank is up, then Laz suddenly says, you know what, we don't want to push in from Rasters just yet because they're going to consider pushing out, especially once Povey gets the first kill. So he just wants to stay alive. Now it's the main force that pushes back in, makes an opening for Laz. Lots of good bouncing back and forth, and of course, clean shots from Sugar Zero as well. Another pistol on the board here in the very first round for ZETA.
Very nice and tempered kind of aggression. But Povey with the outlaw now, wow.
Another force.
Well, let's see what he can do with it. I mean, I don't mind a force if it works, right? So.
Yeah, you got the plant. You got the outlaw. I mean, that's another weapon you have to consider for force buys now. Doesn't want to show that he has it. And
Knife.
Well, a bit of noise. It just makes Laz think for a second. Did they go under the two? But, well, guess not. It's going to be Povey with a shot into Laz instead. Clean head tap. And that weakens mid. With that now, a rotation pulled over from Hirodon, and it's going to be Global Esports slowly creeping up towards A.
yeah, the thing is now you don't have the Killjoy either, so a lot of that retake capability of clearing out corners with something like the Nano Swarm no longer an availability.
Well, similar from before, they let them have the site. Trying to spray, but still, Spike plant goes down.
Planted.
Lightning Fast is watching the flank. It's a force buy, and ZETA knows that, so the weaponry not necessarily in their favor.
Although, Povey is still favoring this outlaw. Third shot, fourth! Goes in for the reload. A blinded Depp tries to hop over to stay alive, but then Russ just guns him down with a stinger.
4 shots, 4 kills for Povey with the new weapon. The outlaw doesn't need to fire twice to get a shot if it's always a headshot. Great showing from the duelist pickup for Global Esports.
Dude, that's crazy. Oh my god. Had the angle from the window?
Oh, that was okay. He was already damaged up. And that's, again, one of the strengths of the outlaw as well. Good pop flash from Russ, too.
Can re-peek just as quick. That is lovely. As we move forward into the next round now, of course, economy for ZETA not going to look too great. Povey just looking to sound off even more shots. A bit of information being retrieved by Blaze King, and it pushes ZETA back.
Honestly, I think this is the best gun to give off warning shots in Valorant.
Traps.
It's very loud. The base is very deep.
And it just instills fear.
Yeah.
I mean, look at how much space they got off of that warning shot.
It's almost scarier than an operator when you just listen to it.
Welcome to the Wild West, buddy. Eddie Young Haseyo. Asteroid's going to appreciate that one. Anyway, toxic screen down, and it's going to be Global Esports just trying to play it safe because they know that any of these pistols could be lurking right around the corner. Benkai getting caught out by Depp. Not what you want to have happen as Depp picks up that Spectre.
Yeah, with that snake bite down, they know that Russ not quite waiting in the default position. Laz a great shot, and so is Uran. I mean, they're all peeking out at the same time. 1 shot, 1 kill.
I need to see their POV on that one. Now it's going to be lightning fast with nothing but a stinger, 4 barrels staring down right at him.
30 seconds left.
Goes in for a big of a quick peek, takes down the first player, tucks back around, 20 seconds remaining, and he has to kind of either go in for, well, at this point, you just kind of got going for all the kills.
And this is one of those situations where, I mean, sure, you had 1 outlaw, but you've got these stingers in hand. And when it comes to the B site, I mean, you're not the one with the harbor. Those sheriffs are going to be just as strong, if not stronger. The problem being, Benkai, I believe, was also picked off in the middle of the round, so not much of a chance to rotate to A. And things fall apart. They already had to commit to the plant. They fake it off the snake bite, try to draw them out into closer range, and they're just prepared. Wow. I mean, this just about shuts down everything. This is why they commit to the B side. The peaks right as the screens go down. Very well done from Zeta Division.
Does give you an idea of what both teams are capable of. Benkai sometimes looking for these lurks, but at the same time, my goodness, those peaks from Zeta Division. So Eco off of Ecos, we got the thrifty win right back in. And now Zeta's got the rifles and is that an outlaw and hero run? It's gonna be a full buy from Global Esports though, but some half armor.
Yeah, so Zeta's trying to make this back into their bonus, right? Picking up the weapons that their opponents dropped in that last round. We'll see. I mean, because they have the capabilities.
Oh, just a bit of a swing though.
Tagged up.
Even more tags and now lightning fast.
Yo, what friends, क्या हाल चाल है guys? आज आप सभी का स्वागत है Valorant की वॉच पार्टी पर। दोस्तों मैं हूँ प्रेम, स्वागत करता हूँ आप सभी लोगों का वॉच पार्टी पर। आई होप गाइस आज आपको पसंद आएगी वॉच पार्टी के लाइव स्ट्रीम।
A lot of people are going to start to assume, okay, you're going to wait to creep up, go for a set play. It's things like these deep lurks, and these other ideas, the different tempos that really start to play a macro game of Valorant against your opponents.
Yeah, because it's just like you had a bit of
काफी इंटरेस्टिंग मैच चल रहा है भाई। अभी तक तो ZETA guys ZETA 2-1 ZETA is winning right now. But let's see at the end of the tournament by कौन जीतेगा. Let's see guys.
Just goes in for that mid play, and that's something that Zeta hasn't really defended all too well. Remember the previous round where Polvi picked up that quad kill. So Zeta has a bit of thinking to do.
And I like that Lightning Fast just commits early towards screens as well, right? Because you can't really lurk as efficiently into Kitchen anymore with that window available. His team already creeping up into the site. They make the call, of course, as they're jumping in with the drone, that, okay, site is empty, so Lightning Fast knows.
That was John Big behavior, okay? That was John Big behavior.
John Wick. Oh, right. I mean, it was a Vandal. It wasn't quite a pistol that we're looking at.
It was a
Vandal. It was a great lurk there. Gets the 4 himself.
Yeah. Nice.
Very nicely done. Now we've got Polvi on the Blade Storm. And they're looking to open things up towards A. Zeta definitely wanting to back off of this. But what's curiouser is Lightning Fast with this lurk. Up around Hunt.
Oh, he's buying so much time in Benkai.
Oh no.
Benkai with the backup comes out from the other side of the map.
Things just start to fall apart for Zeta Division. Not getting the right reads. Peeking into lurks. And at the same time, not quite able to make this retake happen just yet. I think they're opting for that save, but while you're going for that, Lightning Fast is trying to hunt it down. Wow, okay, that's John Wick behavior.
I mean, he's going deep. He's going on a solo mission, just pick up frags.
Wow.
He needs 2 more. If he gets 1 and dies, he still gets a Viper's Pit as well.
Kind of, yeah, crazy.
It's a good pick. Gets 1.
Now,
let's go, guys.
Just falls back, allows for Polvi, who is on the Blade Storm, to go for a little bit more. Just now playing off of the teammates to check. They want to take those guns away.
Crazy.
Time to save.
Yeah, we got mighty close
bro,
to that lockdown here from Laz as well. But hey, damage done to the economy a little bit. Viper's Pit also picked up by Lightning Fast. I think you see it on his face, like, okay, maybe that was a little bit too much, right? Once we didn't get the counter peak, but the teammates are there as well, and that's something they're going to notice with Global Esports, is that obviously his team, the comms are good. They're all players who are used to calling and sharing ideas, leading the team in one way or another. Lightning Fast enjoying the time on the stage. He talked about how he wanted to be part of the main roster. He wanted his chance on the stage.
Yo, अमित भाई क्या हाल है यार? कैसे हो? Thank you for liking and sharing the stream, buddy. क्या हाल है? कैसे हो, brother? स्वागत है आपका मेरे stream पे.
For South Asia, you're going to be part of the main roster. You're on stage every single time. How long can you help
it's kind of fun, boys.
I think he's gonna extend it pretty well. I mean,
हेलो रिमोदास, कैसे हो भाई? अरे आई एम गुड रिमोदास भाई, कैसे हैं आप? वेलकम टू माय स्ट्रीम ब्रदर। क्या हाल चाल हैं आपके?
Well, at the same time though, for Zeta, I mean, this was their map pick. The start is not great. It just feels as though, although this is a different map, the ideas from the previous one definitely stay intact, and Global Esports are really trying to figure out how to play
sports are very cute, my
friend.
friend.
Just getting a good read on the first couple rounds and Zeta's tendencies, right? They leave A side open, then they go for the retake. It's
are you guys seriously? G जीतेगी? तुम्हें लगता है? Let's see, guys. क्या G जीतेगी या नहीं? Let's find it out.
kind of even out the rounds early on as well.
भाई काफी लंबा
So,
स्ट्रीम होने
I
वाला
like
है
this
मस्त
timeout,
करके पॉपकॉर्न
'cause
शॉपकॉर्न
now
लेके
Zeta
बैठने
should
का
have
तुमको है
some
ना
other ideas in the works, and it's going to
क्रेजी
be a
होने
push
वाला
out
है
down two.
क्रेजी मैन इसका क्रेजी
Wow.
ओके
Okay. That's something different. Bit of that Vandal play, but they gotta stay hidden well enough to make it happen. Global Esports maybe anticipating
yes.
such a push as well, so just creeping up onto A site. The 0 point clears out
Yes,
the entire thing.
creeping,
Nobody's here. We get a free plant.
Yeah, now you know. Okay, site's empty again. Surely.
You know,
it's
guys,
another
this stream को
retake
like करें guys,
coming
come on
in
यार,
from
like
both
कर दो
sides of
stream
the
को जल्दी
site.
से like
Will be
share
that
कर दो
different
and
than more
subscribe
than
करना मत
wanted.
भूलना and enjoy करो
Still
guys.
good for the time being.
फिलहाल तो
He
guys
manages to hold his
G3 2 आई
position,
से भाई
and
जेटा आगे थी
crucially
अभी
this
GT
angle onto towards Raptors.
Z
Yes,
आ
that's
गया
where
भाई
Laz wants to be.
And Zeta, this time they're not flanking early,
crazy
right? They're just
man
putting that pressure in that this is what we always do. They're looking to go in with the main force.
Oh, trying to switch things around, but still Polvi holds
Wow.
his ground. Manages to
Crazy.
come down two. A bit of a flank coming through, but not quite for long. Lightning fast trades out depth. And then comes Euron from the front. Null command sussed out position.
yeah
Then you
ready.
still got to deal with Benkai and Lightning fast. I
wow
don't know how much the Cove can do because they haven't quite tapped the spike yet. Those
Yeah.
lineups, they are making it work. Euron able to pick up one more, but then that's about it. Sugar Zero running away, holding onto the rifle.
Z
It's global esports 4-2.
Yeah, and the
अभी
KO
तक तो Z
utility
by
coming in
4
handy
4
as
मतलब
well.
guys
Obviously, Zeta
it's
Division
like
not able
4
to
हो
activate
गया
their abilities for a long time. They had to fight through that retake. Couldn't set up for something like a Cove, stick the half, and pressure a little bit further against the attacking team. I mean,
guys
Polvi
if you
getting
want to
those first
watch
2 kills
the
as well.
stream on full screen you can also check
You
it
love
out
the energy from this team. I mean, surely they will continue to release some comms throughout
Oh,
the
yeah.
year, and it is great.
Yeah.
To listen. They've got such good energy across the board.
crazy
Two names really stand out
dude
right now. Lightning
awesome
Fast and Polvi. The snake bite, the opening frags. What more could you want?
guys also
Zeta is
you
the one that has to
guys
catch up
इधर
to it, and
flash
right
को
now
off
they're
करा
trying to
हुआ
put up the roadblock
But
up around
it's okay.
pipes. Laz able to get the first one, but not for long until Heroon arrives. Guns down with a bit of
Oh,
time on
yeah,
towards
bike.
Ross, and then picks up the third onto
by
Lightning Fast.
crazy aim
Blaze
crazy
Cave
aim crazy aim
Not do all too much now as he's up on top of
crispy aim crispy aim
I mean, this crazy aggression from Zeta. Last pushing out all the way up
crispy
front,
and
then
crazy
Jeff
aim
just trying to
boys
bounce
crispy
around
and
draw
crazy
all
aim
eyes on him. He dashes out, and they just do not suspect yet another member like Huron hiding right around the corner, able to hold his aim for a triple. That should
Yeah.
stabilize things. That's a 4th kill as well for Huron.
भाई crazy
Coming
मार
right
रहा भाई
back
तो कुछ
into the
एकदम
game,
speed
but
दे रहा
just
है ये
Fury
तो
available for him to counter out and maybe push them
भाई
back
तो
out in the next round
धूल
too.
चढ़ा दिया भाई
Now
धूल
we can
चढ़ा
play
दिया
retake. Still though.
replay में oh
I mean, this is just
crazy
they got a
भाई
side of
क्या
it, but at
switch
that
था
point it was
यार
a
वो
little too
जो
late. He was
का
so ready
slide
for
था
it,
aim
too.
का oh my god
the first
that's
double
crazy
kill.
aim
Very good discipline. And these are the moments we saw from him in just a couple rounds during the offseason.
Yeah,
as well. Very
awesome,
sharp
boys,
shooting when he's
awesome,
in
yeah.
the zone.
That's what we need to
That's
see from Zeta as
awesome,
well.
guys.
I mean, you
That's
gotta
awesome,
fight fire
bro.
with fire sometimes, and maybe the answer was just to really get a good read for where Global would push out, and then to peek off against that.
Yup.
But here it comes now. Off of those wins from before, Global picks up the operator.
Let's
Polvi is in a
see.
damn good position. Here's the Aldrin, wants to shoot it down,
Oh ये रहा
but nothing doing for the time
बंदा
being.
लेकिन ये
Zeta
अपने
heard
इनके
the
स्कोर
op
पे
too, though, right?
Yep.
That's why they're not giving him the time of day. They just say keep him trapped in mid. A, we've
feel like
still got
I-
utility from Killjoy to get
Crazy.
information to hold a little bit of time. B, you've still got the double controllers.
awesome
The patience coming in handy, but problem being, they haven't ever retaken under tube or into tube. So this is something that Zeta will have to keep in mind of the entire time.
Yup.
Just trying to stay hidden.
भाई छुप के रहेंगा
They
तभी
don't
तो
want to
बच
give out
मारेंगा
too
ना गाइस
much. And meanwhile, for Global Esports,
छुप के रहेंगा तभी
they've
तो
managed to
मारेंगा
get
गाइस
openings
वो
before
छुप
because
के
they
गोली
always put
मारेंगा
a bit of pressure, and
Shit,
with mental
but-
conditioning, they pull some of these defenses away. But this time, without the opening pick,
let's see guys who will win
that
this
Polvi was
match
definitely looking for.
crazy
They're going to take a little bit of time. There's 30
भाई
seconds
ये
left.
दो लोग इधर हैं
Yeah, they have
and
to go in. There's
okay
an alarm bot. Now you know what's
oh,
going
alarm
on.
bot
And a swarm does enough damage.
And a snake bite on the other side.
You have enough time to rotate if you go now, but they're not going to.
wow
Commit.
Whoa.
It is time, but Les just stops you in the nick of time as well. Here comes Depp with an operator of his own.
let's find
And
it out
guess what? The Reckoning committed to 13 seconds,
Yeah.
and this has to be a save.
10 seconds left.
Yeah, just got to make sure that you're
I'll take the
keeping...
orb, why not?
Yeah, you got to keep up that operator. Build
Yeah.
towards that Blade Storm as well, because you're not looking too healthy. But a save. I mean, you got trapped in mid. And then at that point, this really comes down, I think, to ZETA also just saying,
Thank you
okay, we have
for liking
no
the stream, buddy.
information,
Thank you.
so
Thank you,
instead of
man.
trying to creep back out, we have all these ultimates for the retake, right? You have the Reckoning, you have the
Yeah,
Justice
we
Fury.
have
Let's actually
ultimate.
group up and make sure we're not getting flanked at any point through mid. Multiple members watching different angles in mid. You've got Killjoy and Harvey Utility blocking off the main
बात तो सही
entrances.
है.
And then they say, as soon as the alarm bot rings, send the Reckoning. They don't have enough time because if they're rotating, we still have members still anchoring down on B.
Yep.
And Global, good timeout. It's trying to
Yep,
say, okay,
yep,
this
yep.
mid pressure, unless we get the first pick, it's not working. How else do we adapt from that?
Hence the timeout. So it's going to have to be a bit of a question for Coach Spin and Big Time. But
Yep.
apart from that, at the same, it's also ZETA Division. I mean, it's just, I like their composition.
ZETA
It's one piece
Division.
utility, but the Reckoning does so much. And now with Laz's kills coming through, you're cycling through some ultimates. He's got another lockdown for a good retake
ZETA
or
and
two.
Z का guys जो fight था,
It's,
then इसके बाद
It
हो
might be
इनका
ZETA coming
next
on the up and up.
Yeah, there's a reason.
Yeah, 13
this
minutes
was
का
the
time
comp
हो
that
रहा है
started
Z
to
और
really
इसके बीच
rise
में.
up once a couple of teams showed it off, you know, like the DRX. Because it's basically the harbor from
Yeah.
Siege, right? But now you have a little bit
Awesome.
more flexibility. It's not just force to plant, then hold for post-plant lineups. You've got a little more of a different way to inch forward, take the map over
Yep.
piece by piece. And GE, they're the ones who are experimenting today.
Yep.
We'll see if they have finally figured out the answer, cracked the code enough.
फिलहाल guys ZETA and Z are
Force to
both
shift
at
to the
the
meta.
same
It would
point
work better
selection
if,
by.
You know, maybe some of these initiators can open
Now
things
let's
up
see
for
by
Polvi
who will
because we
win.
are looking for
It's
Polvi to get that
crazy
opening.
match going on
Still
right now.
has the operator.
Awesome.
Now rears his sights towards B.
Revealing
Okay. Recon doesn't find much, but it does bait out a bit of a cascade.
Good cascade, actually.
Very
hard
deep.
to, clear around that.
Don't want to push past it.
Okay.
So that's why they're holding so far back. And in the meantime, ZETA pushes out mid on their own. Doesn't find much though, but it
Don't
is a
break
good
the
angle for
white
Dep.
turret, guys.
Yeah, I mean, Dep
Wow.
could stay, or yeah, they could back out, because that means
उसने
GE,
turret
if they
नहीं तोड़ा
want
भाई.
any
क्या
variation,
बात
they're
करते हो
gonna
guys?
have time to take
हाँ
over
जी,
mid.
सच्ची में. वॉच बढ़ाओ गेम का, कम आ रहा है साउंड. अरे यश भाई पूरा फुल साउंड है ब्रो.
Surely this gives the call. And Benkai as
पूरा
well.
full
Surely
sound है
this gives the
brother.
call over to
Game
focus
का.
onto yellow.
Yeah, they're like, that's the lurker. We can rotate now.
पूरा फुल साउंड पे है.
That's what they're doing. Snake bites out from Euron. A bit of a jiggle, and that's
अभी कितना ही बढ़ा देगा यार भाई. पूरा 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 फुल साउंड है बाय द वे यश भाई. कैसे हो यार? वेलकम टू माय स्ट्रीम ब्रो. यश भाई यार मैं ट्राई किया भाई. मुझे लगा कि मतलब
manages to pick up one from mid.
But
That's
नहीं
all
हो
he
रहा.
can really do. The angle being held now by Polvi. Hunter's Fury being committed, but
let me check.
the ultimates
Oh,
not really
crazy.
well timed enough, and still aiming down his sights. One shot through the engine block. Global Esports 5-4.
I mean, a great round coming out from GE. You bait out the first piece, couple pieces of utility, then you cut all contact. You had the turret watching for mid as well. So it gets contact. You don't see it get broken right away. There's no further push, so you have to presume, of course, and then you hear the upshot as well, that it's going to be the operator coming through. Still on the lurk on A. You're making sure that ZETA gets split up. It's a good read. Try to readjust to what ZETA's doing. So now, ZETA, a new look. It's going to be the stack onto A.
Yeah, the split is good. I also do feel like it's a little bit of like Euron and Huron maybe.
No.
I mean, it's tough for them to hold, and now Polvi feeling that much more confident. Dep trying to, you know, cause a bit of mayhem, but it's not quite going to happen.
I don't know if they can suspect Benkai here. They have some inkling.
Yep,
They
let's
heard
go,
Polvi
guys.
drop, but that's why they're a little scared, because surely... Okay! Nice peek around out of the nest.
Very
Yeah.
quick, but now has to back up. Meanwhile, the rest of Global's forces are actually trying to set up
Awesome, awesome boys, awesome, awesome. I'm back, guys. I'm back.
That much more space to work
अभी बोले guys क्या चल रहा है
Good
आपके,
hold on
you
that
know?
utility
यार
from
तुम्हारा
Shuruzer as
भाई
well.
नहीं.
That cascade wasn't going to get
आज
any
थोड़ा
value.
सा
So you just
zoom
wanna
zoom
make
कर
sure
देते हैं guys.
that you're able
यार
to have that for the retakes. Now that you know the site wasn't taken over, the high tide, just trying to slow things down.
Also with Huron
Backup.
and the angle around mid too, so does give them a little bit more room to push up and kind of position themselves around the site. Now that it's surrounded, now that it's a little bit more clear, Huron goes in for the quick peek, takes down lightning fast.
And they're still aware of Benkai as well. They haven't spotted this Killjoy.
Oh, Laz is watching too.
Yeah, they're waiting for it, but now they know they have the numbers advantage, trying to force the defuse.
Last player
he's
standing.
spotted. Here comes Ben. Oh no. And Les just turns around at the right time. Defuse comes in. Let's get it over to
that guy's
Huron.
audio sahi hai abhi.
We've got a 5-5.
Audio is
2
good
more
or not,
rounds
guys?
to go. On a tightrope, both these teams bouncing back and forth across the 2 maps.
Is the audio is great,
And
guys?
quite frankly,
Chat,
neither of
come
them
on,
looking
bro.
dominant
Tell me.
on their own map pick either. Of course, GE lost their pick of Bind. You know, had another double initiator comp on that first map. They brought it out here as well, just trying to change things up. But I mean, are you cooking or are you just dawdling around in the kitchen? Because so far we're not finding the answer. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to shift metas, and a lot of times the frags have to follow up. Now
Yeah,
this
we can
time,
say so.
I would say they're starting to fire up. Povey
That's crazy,
leading
man.
the
That's
scoreboard
crazy.
in the
That's
server,
crazy.
but it's not enough just yet.
Always that challenge of like old and new ideas. Old spice or new spice? Still, Will is
Old
absolutely
spice,
right.
ice
Povey
spice killing
has
it.
been
Let's
showing
see.
up, but we still need more to see that dominant lead. Because it isn't that dominant lead, both teams are actually adjusting to each other really well, and we're seeing how they play back and forth in terms of space. We still have Euron as well as Sugar Zero defending that B site. These walls are doing so much.
You have so much time right now. You still know that no one's pushed out from mid or A, not too
Oh,
far
no.
at the very least. Oh, if he gets this kill. Oh, still loses control of Snowman, though. If they held control of Snowman, either you plant the lurk there, or you try to force your way all the way around the pit. But now, Depp,
yeah.
very well focused.
Yeah, Depp always holding his own out towards the A side, especially with that operator. But the other thing is also just Euron and that Viper's pit. It covers up just enough that he can actually peek out and take down whoever peeked out Snowman.
30
I think
seconds
that's
left.
kind of the idea. And now with that space, Depp repositions, tries to land the shot. Not quite connecting, though. This might allow for Global Esports to get that spike down.
And both teams are so aware of the potential lurks as well. I mean,
Oh.
they've kind of bitten each other in the back a couple times in this first half. Wow. But now it's just the main force
The thing
pushing
is,
through.
guys, it's awesome.
Get a little bit paranoid, but now all you got to do is watch the front. Lightning Fast definitely does. Goes in for that jitter peek, but it doesn't quite work out. Les, that much more decisive, just goes in for the shot.
Real winner.
Now
No,
they are
Hello
aware
broski,
that
अरे
Blaze
hello
King
दोस्त
is
भाई
up
क्या हाल
on
है कैसे हो
top of
बहुत बढ़िया
Bells.
चल रही है
Good peek though, but not quite enough to gun down the second target. So ZETA goes up ahead.
Yeah,
Don't
and it was
ask it
Laz holding
for
that
this
defuse
thing,
from the
guy.
box as well. So Blaze King
By
just
the way,
trying
इसमें
to
क्या
think
कर रहे हो और
that
क्या कर
through
रहे
the
हो
screen
guys,
he
ये
can't
बताओ.
see them
अभी इस
already
audio सही है या नहीं ये
posted
बताएं
up
please मेरे को. Audio is
into
good,
the top of the
proper
site.
audio आ रही है या नहीं आ रही है?
Unfortunately, it's just the beanie from Killjoy showing
Just
up.
a beanie.
या फिर अभी भी
You gotta
कुछ
watch out for that beanie. You
चीजें
gotta make
रह
sure it's
गई
pressed
हैं
all the way
please
down
tell
on
me
your head.
ताकि मैं
Yeah,
उसको
flushed all the way.
rectify
Yeah,
कर
you,
सकूं.
you don't get fashion
इस
points in
ऑडियो
Valorant.
देखो ये मेरा
Slash
सेकंड टाइम है
especially,
वॉच पार्टी
it
का
peeks
तो
out
मेरे को
over
नहीं
the
पता
top
भाई
of
क्या
some
क्या चीजें
obstacles.
कैसे कैसे होती हैं
Or some
access, तो please,
ponytails. Nah, not really.
अगर कुछ मेरे से
6 to
मिस्टेक हो रहा है तो
5.
प्लीज बताना
That's the
मेरे
main
को.
thing.
Okay.
And again, it's just how they play back and forth in terms of space. Global tries to pull some of the
Yeah.
attention away onto the other parts of the map, trying to
बाद में
divide
भाई क्या
ZETA.
crazy
But
match चल
ZETA
रहा है.
stays
पहले लग रहा था
united
जी
and
जीतेगी,
back
now
into
अभी
the
लग रहा
A
है ZETA
side. A
जीतेगा.
sudden change of pace, a
Let's
quick
go.
execute off of the null command. Russ picks up his value.
Wow.
Povey now with that space goes in and finds
मुझे भी
another
सीखना है यार
frag.
ऐसा
This is
game.
Povey
Oh my
not
God,
just creating
मजा
space,
आएगा
he is
यार अगर ऐसा
actually
गेम पे अगर
fragging
अपन को
out.
आ जाए तो
Oh no, but lined up. They hesitated for a second.
Wow.
The comms just break down. The cloudburst comes out, but now, of course, you get the detain.
Awesome.
Okay, it allows for Benkai to go a little bit greedy. Picks up one, knows to pull back. Spike planted. How do you retake, ZETA?
Cove and double cascade at the ready. Now you got double structure and nano swarm as well, but GE not backing out.
Oh, they're not using util. Setting up a bit of a crossfire between 410 and the boxes.
Yes, this game
They
is
know where
guys
Laz
totally
is.
awesome.
Here comes
Love
that
it for
Cove.
Blaze King.
One enemy remaining.
And he's so good on these timed peeks. Benkai off of it as well, just to watch his friends back. We tie things up 6-6 at the end of the half.
Yeah, the nano swarm already being there, a nice piece of utility that gets them that passive info if they do shoot it. He shoots it, and Blaze King actually moves around the box. He knows one's on the spike, but instead of saying, I'm gonna peek, try to get him right as he goes for the tap, he just says, okay, surely it's a fake, because if not, I've got my teammate Benkai able to swing out on a timing on the 4 seconds, hides away, sees the Cove come back up, and then he walks right back in. Blaze King, this is why he gets a lot of those clutches that he's always had in SEA.
Exactly on Boom Esports. Now on Global Esports, showing us what he's capable of. A lot of Indonesian talents in VCT Pacific, and Blaze King is just one of them. I mean, he's definitely earned his spot, and it always shows true in a lot of these like tiny micro decision-making moments. Knowing to push whenever the spike is tapped. And sometimes, you know, it's also a bit of confidence. It makes you think, like, yeah. A bit of hesitation from Polvi or with a Cloudburst and wanting to pick up his fallen teammate Russ. But Blaze King and Benkai brought things back.
Yeah. Now, with the double initiator composition for Global Esports, how do they want to play that defense? Another map like mine where there's a lot of post-plant utility lineups, a lot of those types of plays. So at some point, you're going to want to at least pressure the flanks so they can't just sit all the way back. But the problem is if you're pushing out with your initiators, unless you're getting some sort of contact or really just closing the map into half, that utility just, it doesn't feel like it's bringing home as much value. So,
I don't know.
yeah, I mean, I'm curious what they're going to do. Obviously, in the pistol, it's going to be a stack.
The other thing is also just that they might not push out all too much because it's the 0 point and the recon vault. They can just sit back and, you know, let the utility gather a bit more information from them and then try to, you know, make guesses off of that. Obviously, not the safest. But
sure. So, but that's my point, right? Is that you can sit back, but then you retake. If you go for all the flashes, they just hang back, and then you just got to deal with the post one. So it's just rock paper scissors, but Blaze King still on fire from the first half.
Definitely throwing a rock on that first one. Here comes Hiruran up towards screens, and ZETA has found their opening. Has to cut down Blaze King, turns back around because of depth, and that is that double kill that gives them the sight. Lightning Fast tries to wrap back around, checks in, but doesn't expect Laz up by the window. Man, that new spot up by Icebox is just showing us so much today.
Yeah, we're seeing a couple good looks around it. I think teams around the world starting to show us there's multiple ways to work that. Obviously, the pure threat that you can watch it from Boiler makes it a little harder to dig deep on the attacker side, but then you can still hold from under the window on different angles. There's a lot of ways you can use that to just plant, you know, the seed of doubt into the opponent, into the future rounds.
Especially for attacking teams too, I think. It's just another additional angle. Makes you think about the defensive side, like whether or not you want to invest a player to watch that spot. On the other hand, though, right now, with the buys, no force from Global. In fact, they're just kind of playing these unorthodox, really close-range positions. They heard something and they peeked out, and it lines up for them. The second's knocked down. Sugar Zero, Hiruran picking up more kills. It's all down again to Benkai.
It's an eco. You do what you have to do. Those are the plays that either it turns into greatness or you get lined up.
But I don't know, like maybe you just don't peek or like hide or...
Well, you have to go for timing, right? Yeah. I think if you're waiting, unless you have like all Buckies and such, they're gonna check. There's no way, right? And I mean, sometimes some teams don't, and they pay for it. But I don't mind the peek. Here's the thing: you're not supposed to win that round, so you have to throw. If you're going to commit to something like a stack like that, you got to throw a curveball. You got to go for the wild card. And yeah, it looks silly, but sometimes it looks genius, and there's a fine line. There's a fine line, but it's not a round you were supposed to win. So I think those are the times where I don't mind it. You know, you let it pass. Now you got your rifles in hand. These are where GE can start to showcase what do their defaults look like. It's going to be the two initiators on one side, the Killjoy and Viper on the other side of the map to anchor.
When you're right, Will. And here comes Polvi. Oh, instant pick off and backs off with the tailwind.
I mean, you already have the numbers advantage. Got control of mid as well.
Might as well let them trickle in, right? Blaze King hearing the footsteps, gets the timing on the peak. Sugar Zero continuing to push up front, manages to catch Russ, but how long can that really work out until Euron? What is the... I can't see that.
The red team is
Managed to find shots with a Guardian of all things. Here come the rest of the players from Raptors though, and they are still peeking a little bit too fast, a little bit too much. It allows for Euron to pick up yet another double. 2 plus 2, that equals 4.
A great 4K, and you see him slowly getting that energy up. Quick match. On the stage. I'll leave that up to you. Not going to do any of my own maths here. But a great round from your end. Oh, Depp smiling as well. We often see him just kind of being zoned in no matter what. But the vibes on ZETA are good. And it's just a wraparound from both teams, right? And that's good movement from your end because You note that GE is trying to play around your double controllers. They're trying to they're trying to find the timings into your smokes. So then Uran says, well, I got to counteract that by continuing to take over space. Once you back up, if you've already gone for your execute and then you stop the momentum, you lose control over the entire site. You have to come in at that point, and it's good that he goes for it. You know, maybe the taunt was an overheat. We'll find out after this timeout.
Hopefully. But it's also like kind of nice to see but Zeta Division taunting a little.
No, it's great. It's great. I mean, I don't think it also wasn't anything too crazy. I like that he's riding the momentum. Both sides, the coaches have racking their brains. And a map like Icebox, I think it's very difficult for coaches to really pinpoint, you know, how to adapt.
Because it's always that push and pull. Again, you pull on one side, another side gets a little bit more open, and sometimes that's an opening for Global. But at least for this round, we can say with absolute certainty it should be Zeta's pickup.
It's like lagging sometimes.
So the timeout being called, invested into future
rounds. No problem,
rounds.
Guys. It's lagging
GE, they have enough creds on Polvi to go for that operator in the next round as well. So that's something they're going for, right? Even if it's the half armor. Once you get that operator, things get a little easier.
It makes you think, right? Is this Marshall position up on top of yellow something that they want to condition Zeta into thinking? But the shot was already picked off,
totally
and the
in the lead,
3
points lead
gives Zeta that much more security.
Zeta will definitely, I guess,
just get one hit. All right,
in
just a quick reaction to that recon.
Yeah, they're trying to push off of it, distract him. Enough investment, they've pulled the rotations over. Laz might have heard or sensed it.
Well, this is, and this is just good timing from Laz, right? Is that you can at least secure that you'll be ready for the execute. And if they already did shift over, it's not like they're going to have time to flood the site without checking everything.
And they really got nothing.
But you can't move from GE's position. I mean, I don't blame GE. This is just Laz making a great call from Zeta, right? You saw them Marshall, you saw them back up, you saw him shoot out the recon, which tells you that they want to hide information, they want to try to stay on the B site. And now it's just the site free.
That's exactly what I mean. Everything orchestrated perfectly to the mastermind of Carlisle or Junior or Laz. The call from it, you're on with the timing on the poison cloud towards mid as well, so that Benkai doesn't see anything on the crossing. And they managed to cut noise just enough to clear out the entire site. Now, a full pistol plus 1 Marshall retake, it is near impossible, virtually impossible for Global Esports to win. Well, even with the Reckoning too? We really want double digits, don't we?
Yeah, you have the lead. I don't mind this at all. Sure, it can seem a little crazy, but this is also a different Zeta division. Continue the lead when you can. We've seen so many teams in Pacific last year that try to save it for the match point, save it for the grand win, and it just never happens. So why not just extend that lead just a bit further?
So decisive. This, again, I gotta say it, brand new Zeta division. Global Esports dying to get that round loss bonus, but it does, again, extend that gap. 4-round differential. How do we claw our way back into this? Those timeouts have been spent.
Well, Operator's going to be surely the biggest factor, and it does look like it's going to be a B hold. Whether it's on top or below, that's up to him. And I don't think Zeta's going to be too concerned one way or the other. You're going to have to check that entire lane if you want to put any pressure. The thing Zeta did in the past round, though, is that while it's smart and it's a good round to do it, they plant that threat of the flank, right, the rotate late. So now GE always has to have someone anchoring if they want to go for a stack mid-round.
I'm saying by Zeta is definitely win karne wali.
A bit of a guessing game this time.
Zeta is definitely win karne wali.
Zeta not able to retrieve all too much.
This is I mean, it's a great angle to hold on that far angle, but if they're coming out of garage, that flick is not an easy one. So Polvi's really playing for maximum contact and maximum info.
I don't know if Zeta's going to push all too deep into B yet, though. They're kind of guessing as to the previous rotations, the previous positions that Global Esports held. So without finding all too much this time, they're kind of assuming and setting up for that execute into A. I don't know if it's the wisest decision.
Yeah, the high tide doesn't cover all of rafters.
Okay,
well, the frag's still just as good. Hero just walks up and takes down Russ. Lightning fast answers back, though. But look at the positioning from Death. He's already making it up on top of screens. And with that, Circus Zero conceals the plant, gets it through. A bit of a wall bank coming out. Doesn't quite connect, but Huron's still just as good on the Guardian.
Awesome.
Similar to Huron from before.
Surely you save. I mean, it feels
an
bad,
op.
but yeah, but it feels bad. But you need this op to make anything happen in the future rounds.
Oh, he's going
Wow.
for it. Doesn't know the angle from below. Lick spotted. Okay, now we save.
I mean, I think if you're Zeta, you chase. You got so many creds. Trap him in.
Polby tried to pull a sneaky.
I mean, this is a Zeta who is on the hunt. They are out for blood. They find the shot. Huron's already here. Oh, he heard him.
No.
Well, he was ready for it, but he just wants to run away. Just
नहीं
wants to
सुना
buy
भाई,
time.
नहीं कुछ नहीं सुना भाई.
Ah, okay, he's managed to
वो
run away.
चला गया भाई, उसे छोड़ के
The greatest escape.
उसे वो छोड़ के चला गया भाई.
Well, will it lead to anything? It's the one ray of hope that
6-11.
G has now.
I mean, do you push out with it or?
Oh my god.
It's an
that's
option,
crazy, dude.
but I think it's an obvious one. And I think there's got to be some
That's
sort of stack,
crazy
some
one,
sort of
guys.
push
That's
out,
crazy one.
because
That's crazy.
I mean, if it's just there, okay, they will just buy up with half armors as well. So the operator's still there. So that just means you're still able to hold this one angle. You are going to push out onto
Yep,
pipes
they can
under,
face up,
actually, an
yeah,
over-under setup here with
literally.
Russ.
Awesome team. Awesome
And at a certain
team.
point, surely you shift the weight. Very greedy from
Crazy,
GE
very,
with
very
Lightning Fast
awesome
pushed
team,
up
guys.
this
Very, very
far.
awesome.
Oh,
No one's going to watch his back.
just hold the angle, maybe.
But he has no escape. He's going to get one. He gets the spike at the very least.
Oh, nice
Attacker
one.
Good heads
spawn.
up duel, good information. The rotation's
Crazy.
coming through, but Zeta being able to anticipate these movements is just so
What do you think, guys? They
good.
will win or no?
And
It's
now
like
with that spike
6,
goes
11,
down,
6,
Blaze King tries to
okay.
hold it off with the shock
Whoa,
darts.
Zeta will going up definitely.
Out in
Zeta
the
will going
open,
to
gets
win.
caught out by
Guys,
Deb, who
yeah.
I will not mention with the
Zena,
place.
the Zeta will definitely
Moving
win
forward
this
now,
match.
still, the retake's underway. You've got
Wow.
mid, you've got not Snowman any longer, just mid. Benkai
Okay.
tries to open things up. The Viper Spit committed to secure match point. Do you still go through or do you
Whether they
save?
will,
I mean,
guys,
so much to
oh.
consider.
Nice.
It's this or match point. No matter what, you're not going to have a great round the next one, but you're not finding the early picks. It's just not
Wow.
doable anymore.
Player
Polby's
standing.
gonna do the same thing, trying to hold on to this
Crazy.
operator. Zeta can definitely chase.
He should be all right. Should have it going off here soon. So the operator stays alive, and
Nice
Benkai
round
sacrifices
win. Guys,
himself
Zeta will
for a
definitely win
shot
this
at
fight.
that
Zeta will
lockdown, and
definitely win by
he'll fill it up. But now,
Guys, तुमने Z
you,
को जो
you
vote
bought
दिया
up those
भाई, Z
rifles.
is not
Obviously,
winning
you had
by.
to,
Z
because
is not
otherwise it's a
winning.
guaranteed match point. But it's not looking like a great round. You have the lockdown. I mean, as obvious as it can be, yeah, maybe a push out with the operator, go for a lockdown retake.
I think that's the thing. I mean, with the operator, if you're playing defensively and you don't find contact, it just kind of becomes diminishing returns.
Right.
They had just enough
After rounds now.
Yeah, they had just enough to sacrifice a couple utility as well.
Guys, last
Just
round,
go for the half armors,
hey,
you got
whether
Octa's
Zeta
Fury
will win
too.
or Z will
So
okay,
trying
guys.
to sack the play, trying to push through, get info,
Zeta will
and
win,
then fall
guys.
back, set up for
Now-
the retake. It's a bit risky, a little bit gambly. Rush tries to stay a second
Zeta is
longer
guys
to
red
find that
one
tag,
and
but
green one is
not quite
Z,
able
guys.
to make it
Global
happen.
score.
Zeta very controlled. Getting pinged and then just holding back for a second. Laz now watching mid for any crosses. This
Guys,
is
किसको support कर रहे हो आप?
Zeta on a whole new look,
You
whole new
all
level.
are supporting, guys.
That's on the move. Lightning Fast heard
Zeta
him.
Z by
Gets him
Zeta
on the
का
flank
दोनों
as
में
well.
Z को support किया, but Zeta is clearly
Good
winning.
pick
guys.
up and then depth to come back
Zeta
in.
is
The spike is
clearly
down. They
winning
know
this.
they're good. Everyone's in position. Not to mention Euron, who is holding such an angle. But good swing
Zeta
off
will
of the
definitely
recon.
win this
Blaze
one.
King and Russ managed to shoot them down. Russ trying to dance back and
Whoa,
forth.
whoa,
The spike's
whoa,
still
is
being
that
there.
it?
Held.
Whoa!
Benkai
Crazy!
able to hold it all the way through. Manages to make use of that space from Russ and Blaze King.
Bhai, that's gonna be crazy, guys. That's
Okay,
gonna
so
be
you get
crazy,
the round,
guys.
but at what
Awesome.
cost? Dropping all the weapons all the way to the end.
Do you buy up on that?
Oh. I mean, you have to buy whatever you can every
That's
single
crazy,
round
man.
now,
That's
but
crazy.
I mean, you can't afford a full
That
buy.
is
is what it
awesome,
is.
by
no,
that
you
is
can't.
awesome
I mean, because you
support
you
by
barely
Z,
bought
bhai.
up half armor with full rifles. Now, sure,
Z
they'll
gonna
get
be
Bulldogs
pace
and Guardians,
guys, क्या लगता है
but
तुम्हें
it's
ये
one
होने
shock
वाला है?
dart.
Extra time
fragment
वाला
on Russ.
match होगा ये
Some very
या
crucial
फिर
things that they would
ये
want on
just
a retake.
Zeta will win this round.
Well, you do have the null command and the Viper's
Guys,
pit,
agar if Zeta
but
will
how long
not
can you really
winning this
extend
round,
this map? That is
I'm
the
make
question.
sure, guys, it
12
will
to
be-
7
it
right now.
will
All
be
Zeta
gonna
needs
be a
is
war.
one.
Extra time wala
And they are
match hone
looking
wala
mighty decisive.
Over-
Deb,
over-
1 point away
overtime
from the
hone wala
Blaze
है
Storm. Goes in to take that
अगर ये
space up
round
around
में
yellow.
Zeta नहीं जीती तो
Timing
overtime
peek
होने वाला
off of the recon clears out the early half of the site.
है। Wow.
So
मैं
Polvy's
कह रहा हूँ
aware
guys, अगर
that a
ये
lurk is still
तुम्हारा-
on the A site. It's either him or Lightning Fast that can hold that.
फिर अगर
Polvy's
अगर
going to leave it up
ये
to his teammate, regroup on B.
नहीं होता है तो
Shock darts to clear out utility or just to fend them off.
Oh, Polvy
Last-
was ready for it.
Laz wanted to make it happen though. If he did, then there may have been some rotations. But here comes Polvy and Lightning Fast now.
I don't know if Depp suspects that this is going to be a
saying, guys,
double.
कि ये
Oh,
होने वाला है।
Lightning, just a jiggle. I don't mind it. Doesn't
Just
green
wait.
for the kill.
Oh,
But that means they're
And
trapped in
it
B.
will be going to be
Exactly.
happening.
Defense knows.
they have to push up front. And as long as Russ, Benkai, and Blaze King can defend B well enough, they're going to run out of time. The pressure is on. And off of the cascade, they push up. You're on it. Hit it on. How do they make it happen? All 3 players
Zeta is
down.
going to
Dep
win
now
by
coming
Zeta
through.
going, guys.
All that's
Take
left
vote.
is Lightning
Spike
Fast.
planted.
Zeta
And a
got
Russ
one vote, guys. Zeta
that
got
is
one
running
vote.
out of battery, running out of juice.
Get out of
Finds the angle, finds the shot, but oh god, Blaze Storm now propped up. That's a tough target to hit. Okay.
With our winners.
First winner for day 2 VCT Pacific Kickoff goes to ZETA
Now,
Division.
Zeta, let's go back.
Make some noise, people. Yes, congratulations.
Zeta Division is guys definitely a winner.
네, 오늘의 우승 데이 2 첫 번째 우승은 제타 디비전이 가져가게 됐습니다. 라즈 선수 만나보겠습니다. So Laz, you've been picked as a key player from the coach right before the match started. So you definitely proved it today. So I want to ask you, what was your most satisfying move for today's game?
So guys, जब next match start होगा, then I will start
一番自分的に納
another.
得感が高いも
another.
のみたいなものって何があ
So
ります
guys,
か？
इनका
そうですね、個人的というよりはやっぱチームとしてになるんですけど、全体でうまく動けて連携も取れて、で相手に対して